Hello everyone, it is I, Ryan, also known as thelovebat, and I am here once again for my dear YouTube viewers and everyone around the world to go ahead and continue playing through my Let's Play of Pathfinder Kingmaker. Now, last time it was maybe a week or two ago that I went ahead and did the last episode, but quick recap from what I remember. We were able to go ahead and do a couple of things. We were able to go ahead and take care of the most pressing and important thing to us, which was visiting this abandoned hut that apparently the Stag Lord had taken a big interest in, and he wanted his, those who serve him and his cronies to go ahead and go to the abandoned hut and wipe it from existence or do something over there to go ahead and take care of things that he felt were over there to try and erase the past and erase its sort of existence before anyone else could go over there and find out information about his past, I guess. But when he was talking and communicating to his cronies, he didn't really give them the full story. He just said, without really giving them a reason, hey, this thing over here, I need you to go ahead and take care of that abandoned hut. And, make sure that no one gets all the goodies there or something of that sort of nature, I guess. There might be a note in here that explains it. No, not those. But I guess there were some notes that we left back at the trading post here for safekeeping. There's basically some notes as well as some dialogue that indicated that he just wanted people to go to his cronies to go to the abandoned hut here and take care of stuff in relation to his past. And I guess he wanted to just erase the things that might have been left over there, like old sorts of notes and relics, including the notes that we found there from Nugra, which is the Stag Lord's father. At first, when I was reading these notes, I thought that it might have been like his mother, while the flashbacks that we were experiencing in that location or that area might have been his father. But no, it turns out that both the notes and the flashbacks that we saw are of the Stag Lord's father. We don't really know. I don't really recall seeing anything or reading anything about the Stag Lord's mother, but we did gain some good insight into his father, and it appears that his father was a very, I don't know how powerful that he was, but he was a druid of some sort of power, and he was using his influence over his son to be really rough and hard on him, very strict, and I guess his son really couldn't measure up to the standards that his father had, and it caused the Stag Lord to turn into the abused ended up becoming the abuser. And then once he grew powerful enough, he instead sort of took the reins and then started abusing his father out of retaliation and revenge. And it kind of mentally turned the Stag Lord into a man of scorn and villainy. So a bit of a tragic past where the abuser where the abused became the abuser in the end. So it's kind of interesting how that you want to stop the cycle of people becoming bad people, I guess. So it's like, you ever hear stories about how, like, in the news, there might be someone who ends up going to jail for abuse or something like that, then it turns out that they were abused as a child. You really want to be able to stop the cycle. So, like, hopefully we can stop the cycle by putting an end to the Stag Lord. I doubt that we're going to be able to have him stray from his ways, but no pun intended with the Oak That Strayed location that we were last in. But basically, we have more insights onto what makes the Stag Lord tick and why this location was important to send his bandits to go and find and to sort of recover things that were there, or to destroy things that were there, essentially, that were of importance to him, but not to really anyone else. So that was certainly interesting, and we just did a couple of other little side areas here. We did a little bit of exploring. We did the roundabout route going this direction where we were like, okay, well, that's kind of screwed up. We did some weird roundabout route where we wanted to be able to go up and around or something like that, and we ended up taking a long route. We had to go all the way around to get to the abandoned hut, and then also to get to the oak that strayed. But you know what? All's well that ends well. We ended up completing all the areas, and we didn't die after fighting a dryad that had gone mad. So, oh, excuse me. Sometimes gas happens while you're on the job, and your stomach goes haywire. But yeah, basically we were able to go ahead and complete this area by defeating a dryad that had gone mad. And so that was an interesting fight. We learned a couple things about magic that it tossed our way, and that sometimes you don't want to move when certain magic is active, otherwise you end up getting damaged by it, so you have to kind of use a bow or a ranged option if you can't get in there fast enough. So anyway, let's go ahead and go to the, which one's the quest log here? Or the journal? J, I think. Yep, there it is. So we have a couple things to do now. We also ended up encountering a Technic League ambush. So we encountered some form of bandits and slavers. They wanted to take us slaves. And there's a woman, Kalana, that led this sort of bandit slaver group. And we're not exactly sure how far the Technic League expands. There was a bit of a lore entry there last episode they could hover over in dialogue. But this particular group that we encountered, they were slavers, and we whipped them into shape in our own way, and defeated them in combat, and made sure that they're not going to make slaves of anyone else, I hope. So, we're going to go ahead and deal with the Technic League bandits, I bet, this episode, which is down there. We were able to go ahead and pick up on their trail in a storybook event. So which direction would be best? So the best direction speed-wise to get down here would be to go around the forest, then cut through, go across the river. But I think for exploration purposes, we want to eventually go through the forest here and find out what's in here. Because we're going to want to go through this entire Gnarl Marches area anyway at some point. So going through now while we're out here is probably the best. We don't know what areas, like side areas we might encounter, or what resources that we might be able to spot and then go back to later for managing our kingdom. Alright, so I don't think I want to go this direction just yet, mainly just due to the fact that I don't want to go too far out of the way here. I want to keep on being able to go south. So let's go down here and see what we find. Alright, so no side areas over there. Old oak. We'll go back up in that direction later. I guess we'll have to go across the river anyway, but we now at least know that there's not much reason to go across this way except to go along the river and then cross the river at some point. So I guess we're going to have to go to Thorn Ford here to be able to cross the river, and then we can go to, I guess, Old Oak, then kind of loop around, go to Temple of the Elk for that priest that wanted us to visit there. Then there's the Slaver Encampment. I guess I forget if I've gone to Thorn Ford before. I mean, it's marked that, it's marked in such a way to where it indicates that I have gone to this location before, but maybe I just don't remember it all that well. But I'll visit here and see if there's anything that maybe I might have missed. So yes, I have gone here before. I think this was the bandit encampment location for the Stag Lord's men, yeah. Yeah, so it doesn't seem there's anything else here that we didn't already see, so I'm going to go ahead and leave then. But I figured I'd just double check, because sometimes it's been a little bit since I visited this area for the bandit encampment, and it doesn't give you like a note to indicate that what was here in the area when you visited it. Like maybe if you go to the to your journal, you might be able to find a journal entry in there somewhere, deep within its pages, that might indicate that the bandits were at Thorn Ford that you had to look for. But as far as the indicators on the map, so it says it attracts bandits to it, but it doesn't say what you found there after you visited it. So that's just like, that's like a flavor text description that doesn't really tell you what you found there if you've already been there before. So I could go around here along the river some more and explore down south, but I think I still want to keep going here into the Gnarl Marches. Do I want to go to Old Oak, or do I want to just go over this way? I think I want to just go over this way. I think I just want to go ahead and go to the locations that seem important for now, and then I can visit some more side areas off the way. Because unfortunately, traveling through forest is a bit of a timely endeavor if you want to go and get sidetracked by side areas. So
my strength fades.
Alright, hopefully I'm not taking a wrong turn here. We are fatigued, but I think we'll still be able to go ahead and handle things okay-ish. And I think that, I believe our Paladin has the Lay on Hands ability to remove fatigue. I'll have to double check that real quick before we go into combat. I'm assuming there's going to be combat here. I mean, we might be able to talk our way out of it. Let me go and double check. I'm pretty sure that I have the Mercy. That's what the Paladin ability is called. Mercy, that allows you to remove fatigue when you use your Lay on Hands. Where is it? Yeah, Mercy, Fatigued. So I can remove Fatigued with my Lay on Hands ability here. So for this particular area, not only can I heal, but I can also remove the fatigue from them with this. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Oh. Well, I used the wrong ability there, but it still works, so I'll just take it. Don't know if there's any difference in healing for that, but... And then we'll do it on her. Okay, then, now that that's taken care of, that's a very useful Mercy to have, because then you can get more mileage out of your characters without having to worry about fatigue for before what you feel is going to be combat. So let's see, is there anything that I want to go ahead and change? So you're going to get some extra AC and defensive fighting, so are you. I might want to go and switch them to some ranged weaponry. There we go. Game was moving a little slow there. I'm hoping that I don't encounter any technical difficulties like I did during my Blood Bowl 2 episode last time. So I'm hoping that things go smoothly for Pathfinder Kingmaker here. I don't know if I'm going to encounter a fight anytime soon. I already used Heroism. We do have some interesting spells here that we could potentially cast.
Here.
I don't think that any of these options are going to have enough duration for me to want to cast them right now, though.
What troubles you?
Heroism would basically be the one that I would want to cast. But I'll go ahead and I'll save my game, just in case anything goes poorly here, but yeah, I'm just going over my options here because this is a very relevant area here, so you just don't know. It would be nice to have heroism here before the perception checks and different things, so maybe I'll just go ahead and do a bit of guidance for perception related things.
I'm still here.
And you do a bit of guidance on these people. Guidance also helps for persuasion checks as well if you end up making any of those. So I guess we're not encountering... Oh. Okay, so we're not in combat yet. I guess there's Kalana again, so let's go ahead and stop. Okay, so we have some people that look like they're asleep or something. I don't know what's over in this area. I don't know what's off in this area over here, but apparently we went the right direction for finding the encampment here. So let's see. I guess guidance gave a bonus to that. So what's this guy got? Let's just right click and see if we can get a good look at this. Alright, so he doesn't have much AC. Should be pretty easy to hit him. I just want to see what kinds of spells that he has here. Turn on dead, so I don't know if that's going to affect Jaethal or not, but so I guess she'd get a will save, and I think that she's pretty good at will saves. Oh, I don't know why that thing's still up. Yeah, she's got a +8 bonus to will saves. I think that she'll be okay. Alright, well, I guess +7 without guidance, but generally decent will saves for her. So that should be okay. And then lots of cantrips. Disrupt Undead is definitely an interesting spell. Alright, so some of those are melee range touch type spells, so not exactly sure what they're going to do in combat, but they'll try and frighten us, I imagine, I guess. So let's go ahead and do Bless, and then we're going to go ahead and do Aid, I guess, on... I guess Alyrra might be the best one, or I don't know, maybe... Yeah, I guess in the end, Valerie might be better for the bonus to saves, because Alyrra's already got pretty awesome saving throws. And then... This is something that's much better if you have a higher cleric level, so I might need to swap that out later. But I can cast it once I'm in combat, but yeah, because it lasts only 1 round per level, so that's kind of an iffy one. And then I guess Divine Favor is actually not too bad here. So let's go ahead and cast a bit of that.
State your desire.
You're casting Aid.
I will see this through.
Okay, and then I guess remove fear might also come in handy if they do the turn undead thing, so this will give us a morale bonus to all that.
May I suggest another way to use this spell?
Alright, well, let's do it on Jaethal, and then have it surround her. And since we're probably going to rest after this, I guess we'll go ahead and do aid. Well, I guess I might as well just do it on Alyrra, since it'll give a bonus to attack rolls. Is probably better with Alyrra than with Harim, since she's going to be more likely to hit. And then you, let's go ahead and give guidance to... Oh. Alright, so the battle has begun. Let's go ahead and, no, not the smite. I want to do the glitter dust here. So let's see how we can do, if we can possibly target all of them. Alright, so let's try and get you in there then and hold up the swordsman. You, I definitely want to go ahead and have you do this. I guess there's an archer coming from that direction, so we might want to have you switch to a melee weapon to get in there.
Unworthy.
And then I guess we will also want to go ahead and have you get in there against the archer as well. And let's do power attack, let's cleave. And what the heck, let's also go ahead and rage. And get in there. And then you are going to go ahead and do destructive smite. Let's get in there. I guess we might want to go for the swordsman first.
Repent!
And then... there we go, now you're doing it. Let's see, there's a swordsman all the way back there. I'm not too concerned about that. There's an archer back there. Let's go ahead and go for the mage. I think we're just gonna have you.
Strike as one.
We can just have you attack them, I guess, first, and then. Oops.
Do not hold back.
We'll have you attack them first. Activate defensive fighting.
Serves you right.
I mean, did Valerie seriously... did she fail a saving throw against fear with all that I had going on? Like, what are you doing? I did not order you to go over there. Let's get you up a bit closer so you have a better chance of hitting them. Do you have defensive fighting going yet? That is the question. Now you should. So let's go ahead and get...
Your life ebbs low.
Get you guys in
Let
there.
us strike as one.
You can take care of the swordsman. We want to get rid of that mage as soon as possible. Yeah, over here they're not looking so hot because they don't have a high AC. But they're taking care of the archer over there, and that's what's important. And they do some pretty high damage, as you saw there with Amiri. She, even just with a regular hit, she did 23 points of damage there, so... she packs a wallop if she hits. There we go. Alright, so Kalana's gonna summon Wolf in there. We're gonna take care of this. Let's take care of the swordsman, and then hopefully we're gonna be able to get in there and move to the back corners. Alright, so you're gonna go in there and get the mage. Let's have you do that one more time. There we go.
You deserved it.
Actually, let's just have you go for the swordsman. Might be an easier chance to hit. Alrighty then. Let's go and get you in there.
This is where I step in.
Alyrra, I want you to get in there. What's your AC looking like? 27? That's not too bad, and a very good touch AC. That's the great thing with unarmored defense, is that if you have a great touch AC, then a lot of those cantrips that are touch-to-based attack spells, they're not going to be as likely to hit you. So that's always very nice. Don't really care about the opportunity attacks here, so I just want to be able to get in there. I don't know why it looked like Kalana was doing something back there. Like, were they draining life from somebody else to try and save themselves? Yeah, Kalana attacked the Technic League archer with a snowball. I don't know why they would try and attack them. Like, I don't know, maybe maybe Kalana went rogue and the Technic League was not happy about that. I have no idea. And then there's Technic League people that are coming in here to try and attack them, basically. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on with that, necessarily. Okay, then, now this is interesting. Kalana drops her weapon and raises her hands, which are covered in blood. Mercy! Don't kill me! The half-orc bares his fangs. That is how you talk now, wretch! I've wanted to do this for so long. He casts a spell on his outstretched palm, and sparks begin dancing upon it. The half-elf puts her hand on his shoulder. Regonar, come now. Let her go. It's one thing to kill her in battle, but executing her unarmed, why spoil the joy of being free? Octavia, are you out of your mind? This filth is from the Technic League. By her own hand, she enchained us. And you want to forgive her? Do you think she'll thank you? Ha! She'll just gather another band and try to catch us again. So this is interesting. Now, obviously, you have many different choices here, flavorful in different ways. This is also interesting. I don't know if this is because we're a paladin of a certain deity. Because Iomedae is our deity, so this is interesting. I didn't know that it went... I didn't know the game went this deep into the choices, because I'm pretty sure that we did choose Iomedae as the deity, the sword-focused deity that we follow. So this would be a lawful good paladin type option, and maybe the deity here is kind of represented in the text depending on what paladin deity you choose. So you're able to make what you feel is to be a good aligned option while still killing her, basically. Then you can spare their life out of the goodness of your heart, which is something everyone, I think, can do. And I can just tell them it's okay to go ahead and punish someone who has wronged you, basically. And then, like, oh, she pissed me off. I'm just going to go ahead and do the job myself. And then lawful evil Yeah, you'd be like, oh yeah, I'll carry out public executions and instill fear to keep the lands in line. But I guess we can go with option number one, and before deciding her fate, I just want to ask some questions about all this happening. I will tell you everything! I know much. You will see. I am more used to you alive than dead. Tell me about the Technic League, then. It is an ancient alliance of wizards and scholars of the Numerian wastelands and its technologies. We are the mightiest organization in the whole of Numeria. We possess powers that the uninitiated can only dream of. And our agents are everywhere, not just in Numeria. Believe me, these are not people you want as enemies. Sounds promising. Only cowards with no honor reckon sheer power a good reason for an alliance. Jaethel raises her eyebrow, but doesn't grace Valerie with an answer. So definitely two differences of opinion there. Definitely two differences of opinion. Is it normal for the Technic League to grab random people from the road to enslave them? Kalana shrugs. The Technic League is so strong because it is never ashamed of taking what it needs, whatever the laws may say. We were missing a slave. We underestimated you. That was a mistake, of course. I apologize. Why do I get the feeling that that apology is the least sincere apology that I've ever heard? What are you doing in this part of the world anyway? Seems kind of weird to go out into the Gnarl Marshes or out into the stolen lands to find a replacement slave. I was sent by Maestro Janusz. He is a very important person and a mighty wizard who taught these two ungrateful slaves everything they know. He will be furious to find out they are free, and will certainly find the one who stole the Technic League's property. Believe me, he does not need me for that, whether you kill me or not. He'll find you in no time. Well, send him my way. I will welcome him with a sword if I have to. You say this Magistro guy of yours will find us anyway? Then I guess we don't get anything out of sparing you. You'd best not anger the Maestro. If you kill me, he'll be furious. Oh, I'm so scared. You know, I actually like getting slavers and other assholes angry with me. Then I get to cut them to pieces. Well, I mean, your sword can definitely do a lot of cutting, Amiri, but maybe you should go ahead and, you know, not welcome combat so easily, if it can be avoided. Sometimes it's okay to go ahead and talk through some problems. Just, you know, life lesson kind of thing. Anyway, why did you have these two in chains and enslaved? Because we own them. The Technic League spent vast sums of money on these two. We nurtured them, fed and treated them, even taught them magic for many years. They cost us a fortune, and we're not going to just set them free. Whatever your local customs say, we are fully in our rights. I feel like this is the point in time where you have to do the Jim Carrey. The Jim Carrey from Liar Liar. Stop breaking the law, asshole! Except a bit louder than what I just did, but I don't want to wake up my neighbors. So, when you live in anything resembling an apartment complex, you don't want to go ahead and do anything that might alarm them while you're recording in the evening. So, anyway. I have enough, don't have any more questions. I think I learned enough about you to know exactly what I want to do here. Listen to me. Do not make any hasty decisions. I am an important person in the Technic League. I have connections. You will benefit from such an ally. You see now what a slime ball she is? Step aside. Let me fry her. Excuse me. Ah, yes, gas before the daily making big decisions moment. Okay. I mean, it can go either way here between the lawful good and the neutral good choice. Because it's interesting because, you know, usually you think about mercy with a paladin and not executing someone. On the other hand, you've heard them out, and they sound like what Regonar says, a slime ball. A general asshole. You know, they're probably, I mean, arguably, they're even worse than Tortuccio was. So, and they think that owning slaves is okay, and well, obviously, it's not okay to own slaves, especially not to our character. So, we're faced with a bit of a dilemma here because, obviously, we'd probably be doing the world a favor to just go ahead and be like, in the name of the law, I'll just go ahead and execute you now. On the other hand, we can go ahead and show them mercy. I'm pretty sure that this is only there because you're a paladin and you can sort of lawfully execute them. But I'm going to go ahead and be merciful and avoid bloodshed if possible. I doubt that they're going to change their ways. We might end up killing them later in battle at some point. But we'll show these people that you don't have to go ahead and be solely seeking retribution. You know, I will spare her life. Go back to Numeria. Renganar strikes Kalana across the face. Get out of my sight, you filth. Thank the gods that my friends are so soft. Yeah, but now Amiri's fatigued because she finished her raging, so... And then I guess it's time to go ahead and tick those off in case we need to switch back to a ranged weapon.
Request.
Done with waiting.
And now we have some new people to talk to. So... Oh, we have to free some of these slaves over here, I guess. You shouldn't have spared her life. On second thought, what difference does it make? Either way, she'll rot in the abyss. So yeah, from what I understand, the abyss is for demons and demonic sorts of overlords and, you know, things like that. And then hell, or the 9 hells, or whatever fictional universe that you're using, hell is for, like, devils and things like that. So you have hell and the abyss. Kind of two different sides of the same coin of evil underworlds. Alright. Ha 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 ha! We're free! I can't believe it! Free as the birds in the sky! Phew! Alright, I probably did that last part a bit wrong, but I did my best. Regonar holds Octavia tight, and she laughs lightly and kisses him on the lips. Thank you! You've no idea how long we've tried to escape the Technic League. This is a miracle! Who are you, people? I am Regungar. That might be how you pronounce it. And this is Octavia. The rotten Numerian held us as slaves. But we are no mere scavengers. You see the crowd they had guarding us? It's because we use magic. And I'm not bad with a blade if it comes to that. They're all right. We could use them on our team. What is this Technic League? A huge man-eating spider catching all of Numeria in its webs. They're a secret society of arcane spellcasters who study ancient technology. They have eyes and ears throughout this land and abroad. It is said they even have Kevoth Kol in their pockets, the very sovereign of Numeria. They also control all the slave trade in the country. I've seen many a young treasure hunter's adventurers end at the slave market. Ugh. May the Technic League rot in Abaddon. There is nothing worse than a nation in which a secret criminal organization has consolidated power. Even an openly cruel tyrant is better than the infection that festers in Numeria. So how did you get captured by Kalana there? I've lost count of how many times we've tried to escape. I can't name all the things we have tried, but we were caught every time, and then they just take us somewhere else. I don't know who'd want to buy us, but imagine how happy we were when we learned they were taking us to the river kingdoms where slavery is forbidden. Indeed, we tried so many times to escape, yet in the end, the League itself brought us to the free lands, under heavy guard, I'll grant you. If it wasn't for you, who knows where we'd go next. And you could be a chaotic evil maniac and decide to attack them, but obviously that's not very prudent for even evil characters. That would be not so wise, in my opinion. So let's go ahead and ask them if they want to join the group. You're good fighters. Want to join my group? Of course! Octavia, what do you say? I would be happy to join you. Okay, so now we get the almighty group manager. Now that we have more than 6 characters in the party, we have to decide who goes and who stays. Now, unlike in some games where obviously these two people are a packaged pair, if you tell one of them to kick rocks and leave your group forever, then the other one's probably going to be going along with them. However, as far as for traveling and adventuring goes, you don't have to take both of them with you if you don't want to. They're not a package deal for adventuring, so you're not forced to take both of them along with you if you don't want to. But now that we're at a point in the game where Alyrra is being able to go ahead and be a frontline tank herself, we don't necessarily need Harem for that anymore. And Harem's spellcasting levels, they're not exactly great. He's more like a fighter cleric, but his cleric levels are kind of lacking, so we'll go ahead and get rid of the 2 characters that I wasn't so hot on joining, but I had them join out of more necessity. And then we're not missing out on too much with these 2 characters. Jaethel does have some good spellcasting at this point, but thematically I don't really care for her. Harem is a bit interesting. We can explore more of that later. But I'm more than happy to have these 2 in the group here. And we can also show you what their characters are like as well. So this should be good. So Regungar, or Regangar, or however you pronounce that. I don't know how you pronounce that, but
Any fun to be had?
no, we don't need this over here. He is an interesting character. He's not the most mechanically sound character, but he is interesting. He has himself, well, chaotic evil alignment doesn't really align well with a paladin, but he's also not exactly a maniac. He just has anger management issues that he has to take care of, but essentially he is a super strong dude. He does not have great constitution or armor class in comparison to the rest of the party, but he's super strong. So if you can get him a composite longbow, he can deal a pretty good amount of damage at range. And if you have a weapon with a good amount of reach to it, then you can also have him use something like that. If you use magic to go ahead and have him grow in size, that would also increase his reach, which would allow him to go ahead and take advantage of his high strength without having him get hit with too many attacks, I hope. And obviously he's very good at things like athletics, and he's also very good at things like intimidation with persuasion. Because he's a half-orc, he gets the racial bonus to persuasion checks with intimidation. Yep, he gets a +2 bonus to persuasion when used to intimidate. And so that does make it good with one select feat that you can take with him as well. And he is also, if you didn't notice, he's an Eldritch Scion. And so this is a Magi type class. Oh, where is it? There it is. So from what I remember, they are basically the one-handed sort of kind of melee spellblade type class. So you want him using a one-handed weapon in one hand and then no weapons in the other hand, or nothing being held in the other hand at all. Because then you can utilize different kinds of like magic and such with him, and you can do some interesting combinations that way. So you can do some interesting things with them. And then also they make a pretty good multi-class into the Dragon Disciple thing down here, I believe it is. Yeah. You can make a pretty good case for multi-classing him into Dragon Disciple. And then this would end up increasing his strength even further, which is pretty solid for him, I would say. Oh, I just want to exit the interface because I want to go to Octavia now. Oh, and Octavia is also interesting. You can obviously see here that there's some different flavor text for each of them as well, like with the other characters. He's scrappy and she's trusty. But she's very good at dexterity because she is sort of like a mage rogue type. So dexterous, intelligent. So she's very good at some different skills here. There it is. So she's very good at some different skills here. Stealth, perception, trickery. So we're not going to probably need Lindsay for that anymore. We can probably end up using Octavia for that. So, and she's also pretty good at some different lore skills. Thieves, or rogues, I guess. They get lots of skill points at level up. So, early on, she has a pretty good amount of skills to work with, as well as her intelligence being high. This will also affect the amount of skill points that she will get on level up. So if you want a skill monkey, Octavia is probably the best that you can get, or one of the best, I would say. So yeah, since his level ups are more interesting, we'll go ahead and level up Ragnar first. And so if you want Dragon Disciple, we need to get his Arcana up to level, or yeah, you have to put 5 skill points into it, which shouldn't be too difficult. You could go something like if you want certain proficiencies, like if you want dueling sword proficiency or something like that, you could go with like Outdoory Defender over here and just use a dueling sword in one hand and then no other weapons for the free proficiency. But I'm not sure if that's going to be all that great, because in order to get the Dragon Disciple, we want to just keep on building up our spellcasting levels for that. So probably more advantageous to keep going in Magus and just keep building up his spellcasting and offensive capabilities here. Let's see, what are his features? Combat casting. So he gets a bonus to concentration checks. Unfortunately, his constitution isn't so great to help that out, but hopefully he just doesn't get hit. Not exactly sure if I would have chosen combat casting, but I mean, it is useful if you're in melee and casting spells, so that's not terribly... It's not too bad, actually, but maybe not what I would have taken ideally. Just trying to get a good grip on what he's got going here. I don't know if there's any specific things that it chooses for you with the first level here. Let me go back out here real quick, just because I want to go ahead and see what his, if there's any particular specialties that he has that I need to know about. I mean, I guess other than orc weapon familiarity, which unfortunately I don't think that would really help us, except for maybe falchions, or maybe there's some kind of one-handed orc weapon that he can use. But yeah, let's just keep on going here. Magus. Unfortunately, he has only 2 skill points here. But obviously, if we just get Knowledge Arcana up enough, then once we get that up to 5, then we can start focusing on the other skills again. Obviously, he's not going to be all that great at the Arcana skill, but maybe in combat, the Arcana might give us some enemy information sometimes if the other characters roll poorly on Arcana. So yeah, we want to... Ideally, they would have a weapon focus chosen with this feat, but that's not the case, so we have to choose one here. I don't know which weapon is great for him. For most characters, something like dodge and the AC boosting feats here would usually be better, because that's usually how you survive in frontline combat. But for him, I think we definitely need to choose something that will help out his offense, because that's his primary goal, essentially, is offense. I mean, I think that Maguses use touch-based skills, or touch-based spells, I mean. Spell of electricity damage, rogue claws. Yeah, you gain a lot of nice bonuses, just sadly his dexterity is kind of middling. Because I haven't really played much with Maguses, so just trying to get a quick look here at these things. Spell combat. Because I don't know if the claws that you have for your dragon claws, I don't know if that can actually be used with your offhand to make attacks with these features. I think it's just with like touch-based spells, I think. Yeah, once I'm more familiar with them, I could definitely make better use of them. It's just trying to figure out exactly what makes them work. So yeah, you can make an extra melee attack with your weapon as part of casting the spell. So that's kind of it's a little bit similar to the Blade Singer, or the new revised Blade Singer in 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, where you can kind of cast a free cantrip as part of the attack action with that. So I guess you get mage armor here that can help you out, and then 1 Magus Arcana, I guess. Well, we need to decide on a weapon. I'm not exactly sure which one is best. It needs to be a one-handed weapon, I think. Well, which one do we want to go ahead and use then? Well, come to think of it, what's the weapon that he's using now? Yeah, let's do that. What weapon is he using? A scimitar. I mean, I guess we could go for scimitars. I don't remember if they're exactly a great weapon or not in Pathfinder, but we can go for that. I think that most RPGs are usually reliant on how good is the magic gear for a weapon type in a game to determine more how good it is, so... But since he already has a scimitar, and that might be the way that maybe he goes down for the default path, we'll just go ahead and go for scimitars then, and maybe we'll find some pretty good scimitars that fit what he does, and we'll be able to make good use of them. Arcane accuracy. Insight bonus equal to his charisma bonus on all attack rolls. Okay, so that gives a boost to his attack rolls equal to his charisma bonus, which is a +3. Interesting. So that extended spell, I think, increases the duration of spells. Don't know if that's going to be terribly useful here. Three spell per day modified by the reach spell feat. I think that these, I believe that these are sort of like meta magic options. So I'm assuming that reach magic increases the range of a spell. And so maybe what reach magic is meant to do in this build is, if I'm inferring it correctly, reach spell would allow a touch-based spell to be cast with a range that is further than touch for that casting. And so it would allow you to go ahead and say attack, then use reach magic to hit someone with a touch-based cantrip that's a bit further away, and then attack again or something like that with your weapon. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if I'm going to take it here, but it is interesting if you want to utilize a combination with it, like with a lightning-based kind of spell or something like that. Okay, so this allows you to use wands more effectively with a better save DC for the spell, which is interesting. Again, I don't know if I'm going to use this because I don't really tend to use wands all that much. Lindsay is usually the only one that maybe I might use wands for, because she doesn't usually have too many offensive type magic to use, so... interesting. So there's a couple of wand-based things. I don't know if you can just wield the wand in the other hand. Or I guess the wand would probably just be something that you just put in your sort of magic item slot, like you do with potions and stuff, I believe. I'm just not sure how this kind of thing is implemented in Pathfinder Kingmaker. Does it give you a prompt to go ahead and use the wand? Does it choose the wand for you based on what you have equipped? If you have more than one wand equipped, does it choose which wand is used? I'm not entirely certain how that works. I'll just go with Arcane Accuracy because I feel like I'm guaranteed to use this. I know that I'm going to make use of that for sure, just to make his offense even better and give him a better chance to hit with that high strength of his. Shield and mage armor, both quite good. I guess shocking grasp kind of makes sense because of the lightning damage bonus that he has. Unfortunately, there's no lightning damage cantrip here, it appears. We have acid, cold, and then the disrupt undead. Yeah, so we would have to use the shocking grasp spell to do anything here. Okay, so those are the ones that we already have. Enlarged person could be interesting because this is something that he definitely would want to cast on himself. He could also cast it on someone like Amiri to go ahead and get them bigger as well. Grease is something that Lindsay already has, so I don't know if I'm going to take that with him. Don't think I want Stone Fist or Vanish. At least not with him. I don't think that there's any other lightning-based spells here. I don't think I want Magic Missile either. Doesn't seem like a spell for him. Yeah, I'm just going to go and take Enlarge Person because I know that's going to be a useful spell for him, and to enlarge Amiri for just dishing out the damage. Alright, and then let's go next level here. We'll do Magus one more time. And I guess we need to get to level 5 in Magus, and then we can start gaining levels in Dragon Disciple. And strength, go. Let's get that going here. And then I guess, do I want Persuasion for Intimidation, which I might be able to use with a feat later? Or do I just want Athletics? I think someone else might end up being good at Athletics, so... But we already have someone that's already pretty good for Persuasion. This is only going to be for if we want to take a certain feat with Persuasion, which goes with the Intimidation. I'm just going to go Persuasion. I think we have enough people that are going to be able to go ahead and do athletics, and we can put some more points into athletics when we're done with Arcana here. So let's do persuasion for now. Use magic device would be good for wand abilities as well, but we can certainly focus on that a bit more later. Now we have some interesting spells here. I know that we're going to be able to get some spells with yeah, we're going to get some spells with Octavia as well. So something that's a self buff would probably be good. Like Mirror Image, I think would be a great spell because it's a self-targeting spell only. So yeah, that's something that you can't cast it on someone else, so you have to take it yourself to be able to get the benefit. So that's going to be a good one. Blur, we could also cast on allies if we wanted to. It doesn't appear that there's anything that does lightning damage here that we can make use of. We have fire damage with Molten Orb and Scorching Ray. Bludgeoning. Web is more like area control. That's something that we probably want someone like Octavia to get instead, since she's going to be focusing on spellcasting in particular. Glitter Dust would be interesting, but it relies on a saving throw, and we already have our Paladin who can cast Glitter Dust with Charisma, and their Charisma is much higher than his. I mean, Bull's strength, I mean, it's not bad. You know, you can increase someone's strength. He can increase his own strength to make it superhuman proportions. Effortless armor would be interesting if we wanted to go ahead and wear armor with him. I don't think that you're actually restricted with spell casting, at least with the Magus, by wearing armor, I don't think, right? At least I don't think so. I mean, I could be wrong on that. I think the armor with a Magus might actually still affect your spell casting. I think it's for clerical type magic where it wouldn't affect it. Like clerics and paladins and different things like that. I mean, Blur is good too. We can just go for the defensive spells that don't rely on anything for like saving throws or different things. I mean, these spells are good, but I guess the interesting thing is that enhancement bonus, I think that's something that the stat boosting items can also give you bonuses to. And I think that someone like Octavia can potentially learn these spells to cast. Maybe we'll get effortless armor later. For now, I think I'm going to go with Blur. Let's go for the defensive spells. And I guess while we're here, that's certainly interesting, but I think we want a composite longbow with him. Well, sadly, you can't use a longbow. I guess I assumed that someone that was a rogue could use a longbow, but I guess Yeah, I guess rogues, they aren't able to use those. You have to be like an elf, I think, or something like that, maybe. But one thing that we do have is that we can go ahead and teach Octavia some spells here and add to her spell book before we have her choose spells that level up. Transmutation, so this is a good spell school, and we have Enlarged Person as well, so having two people with that does give us some versatility here, so I don't mind having two characters with the same spell, because she's going to use her spell slots for a bunch of different things, so I don't think that Snowball is something that we're really keen on, so I'm just going to remove that before I forget about it. I don't think that Color Spray is going to be something that's going to help either, because it has the hit die limitation, and that's usually not something that bodes well for scaling as you face tougher creatures, so I'm going to get rid of that as well. Okay. I'm not sure why these things are outlined in red. Maybe it's like an opposition school of your main school, I guess. Not quite sure. Oh yeah, opposition school. I don't know why Abjuration would be an opposition school of transmutation. That seems kind of weird to me, but and it also seems kind of weird that Mage Armor is Conjuration instead of Abjuration, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. Okay, and so I guess they already have Mage Armor in their spellbook, so we can't really do anything with that. I guess multiple people have belt lanterns right now. Let's just go ahead and have you copy that to your spellbook. And let's have you copy this to your spellbook. Excellent. And I'm glad that it has you automatically copy the spells instead of having a chance of failure. Like in the old Dungeons & Dragons Baldur's Gate-ish rules, you had to worry about failing to copy a spell, and thankfully mods fixed that issue to where that's not a problem anymore. For those old games anyway. But I'm glad that you don't have to worry about it here, because that would be a pain in the arse. So yeah, the usual route that you kind of go here is that you can go rogue and then mainly just go into wizard here, and then later you can go into arcane trickster as like a combination, you know. If you've played 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, basically the same thing here. It's like a roguish sort of wizard with wizard spells, and you can do illusion magic or go invisible and be very good at stealth that way, and use a combination of rogue abilities and magic. What were the abilities that I need for that again, just to be sure? Arcana, mobility, and trickery. Okay. Okay, so Arcana, mobility, and trickery. I want to get those maxed out so I can eventually get to the arcane trickster. I don't know if I need persuasion with Octavia, even though she can be fairly good at it. We already have our main character who can handle all of that, and Lindsay is pretty good at it too. Can't go wrong with perception or knowledge world even, or stealth. all of these are honestly pretty good. I think Perception might be the best. We might not go too deep on Arcana or Mobility after this. Kind of depends. What's this? So I guess I don't know if I want increased sneak attack damage. I mean, I can do it. But I think that I'm mainly going to be focusing on the wizard stuff, maybe? I think that precise shot is probably going to be the best for now, because then at the very least we don't have to worry about our chances to hit with the ranged attacks. So let's just go for that for now, since that's going to be useful even with spell attacks. So let's do it. I don't know what spells, I forget exactly what spells that we have scrolls of already at the trading post, but I'll try and just do these. I think that Summon Monster might be one that we have. Grease might be another one. Hurricane Bow is one that I know that I definitely don't have a scroll of. Hurricane Bow could be interesting since she can use a short bow or a light crossbow even. On the other hand, we might want to be using touch-based spells with her as well. So then again, I don't know. How do we end up removing that? I guess we have to just put another spell in its place, I guess. Grease would also be effective. I don't know if we already have a scroll of that or not to add to her spellbook. Sleep is good at lower levels, crappy at later levels. And at this point in time, we've probably passed the point where it would be useful. Hypnotism could be interesting, but again, this is a hit die spell, so later on it doesn't, or at this point even, it probably won't help all that much. Yeah, we're kind of light on truly good stuff here. This is a touch-based spell. We don't want to have her getting in close for that. Reducing dexterity could be interesting. Stone Fist. Not really something that I plan on doing with her. I mean, I guess I might as well just go for the spells that seem like they're probably just going to be better for us, and so this could be interesting to lower dexterity. Hurricane Bow could be good, but I might rely on touch-based spells like cantrips and just doing a bit of sneak attack damage for now. And then I don't know, maybe just some more grease might do the trick. No. Alright, never mind. Getting the same icon here, I guess. But yeah, we have two characters of grease, so we have good control options here. We have good buffing and defensive options, so and we have precise shot. And let's just keep going with Wizard here and keep on staying the course. Would love to have extra dexterity, but for now I think because she's a transmutation wizard, one of her abilities increases her dexterity. So in reality it's a +1 to that in total. And because we raise our intelligence here, we have more skill points to go around, which is lovely. So now we have these up as high as we need them to get the Arcane Trickster subclass. Knowledge World would be good for cooking. Bards do get a bonus to it with Lindsay, but I don't mind that at all. With having high stuff with that. We'll be able to get these up a bit more as time goes along. Perception I want to be good because having a lot of people in the party with good perception helps find hidden things. Maybe we go a bit lower on stealth and just go higher in perception for now. Alright, more level 1 spells, but we have, or I guess this is level 2 spells that we're on now. Or I guess we just get a choice between first and second level spells if we want. Okay. We have one with Scorching Ray already with the second level. See Invisibility could be good. Create Pit could be interesting for a hazard. Just do all kinds of area control or something like that. Web could also be interesting, another control type spell. Yeah, so reflex save is interesting because Alyrra is very good at reflex saves. So we could send her into an area that's been webbed up, and since she's so good at reflex saves, we could probably end up avoiding them pretty well while the enemies have a hard time with it. Burning Arc, yada yada. Yeah, we probably go with another control spell or more control spell options. See Invisibility is good. And I guess Sense Vitals would allow her to go ahead and do additional sneak attack damage. I think that would stack with I believe it would stack with normal sneak attack, but the duration is only 1 round per level. That's not very long at this point, so don't think it's something that would be good to choose now. Summon Monster 2 would be good. Just gives you more cannon fodder that you know is gonna, at the very least, maybe tie up an opposing spellcaster or archer. Invisibility could be good. I think that Web is going to be good because Alyrra is very good at the reflex saves to avoid that effect. Other characters could probably avoid it or avoid the area while Alyrra goes in there to deal with somebody. Create Pit could be interesting if we had ways to try and go ahead and push people into them. There are some spells that can do that. Like I think the Stone Fist here. Or there's some kind of fist-based spell that you can get that I think can push monsters or creatures back on a hit. I forget exactly which spell it is. So summon monster or summon elemental. I mean, we do have some interesting options here. Sea invisibility is good too, but glitter dust I think can also deal with them, and Alyrra can cast that to deal with invisible enemies if we encounter them. I mean, we already have some good controlled base spells. I guess we have Web, we have Grease. I think we can just go for more defensive magic to protect ourselves during the fights. So let's just go with Mirror Image, and since any caster that can cast it probably wants to have it for the big fights, since it's a self-targeting spell, so you kind of have to have it on multiple people. Her AC isn't very good right now, but with Mage Armor it would be a lot better. And with bracers it would also be better. Alright, so we went through quite a bit of stuff with that. And we need to rearrange our formation here, maybe. So yeah, I think that works as a formation. Let's go ahead and free these other people over here from their chains. Good guy, Rengar. Freedom! Freedom! I'm glad that you have your freedom, friends. Alright, let's go ahead and, after doing all of that, let's go ahead and save our game, because it would be so bad to go through all of that and then have to replay it all in case the game, you know, ends up encountering a bug or something like that. So, alright, change shirt magical, and we have a book here that I'll read in just a second. Just looking around for the hidden sorts of items, but I don't know if we're going to find any, but let's do a quick save in case this is something that needs lockpicking. And indeed it did, so I was correct. And Octavia is very good at that, so hopefully we're not going to have to worry too much about lockpicking anything in the future. And if we can find equipment to boost her dexterity for trickery and things like that, then all the better. An E-stock. Interesting. I don't think that anyone in our party can use that, but it's certainly interesting if you have a main character that can use it. I think our main character is going to go for more dueling swords and things like that. One good thing about having someone like Ragnar in the party is that you have a whole lot of carry weight to work with when you have high strength characters working in the party. So while Lindsay and Octavia aren't so high of strength, Amiri and Ragnar are so strong you can carry so much loot. So yeah, you can carry a whole lot of loot if you have just a couple of strong people in your party. Alright, looks like we found some chocolate and some different knickknacks for combat. So yeah, I guess I don't know if there's anything else to find in this area, but I'm just searching every nook and cranny here just to see if there is anything else to find. Because you never know, especially when it comes to story important areas. Never know if they might have some hidden artifact fragments lying about anywhere on the map here, so you just have to kind of check everywhere. Yep, so I guess this is the way that we came, so I guess that encounter was probably everything that we're going to get out of this area. I guess that was it. There's no wild animals or bears or anything around here to fight. Alright, and that's rocky terrain that we can't walk on, so that's going to be one little bit down. Or one area down here. And 2 new companions gained. I'll have to rearrange their magic and stuff a bit more later. Let's get rid of Coup de Grace. Demoralize, he might end up using. Fighting defensively, I doubt it. Acrobatics, I doubt it. Days, I doubt it. Disrupt Undead, maybe. Ray of Frost, I doubt that. Acid Splash, I doubt it. Touch of Fatigue, I doubt it. Disrupt Undead could be useful if we encounter Undead and we need just easier ways to deal with them, so I'll keep that there. Let's see, Mage Armor. Sure, why not? And then Enlarged Person, this could be useful. And then I guess I have to rest to get these spell slots to use these. We'll put Mage Armor over there since we're only going to cast it once, and then we probably don't need to cast it again for a little while. True Strike, I don't usually use that too often, but I'll just put that back there. Okay, so that's the arcane weapon enhancement that I can use on my weapon. Interesting. Or that he can use on his weapon. And then you... Let's get rid of this little menu here that I probably don't plan on ever using. I mean, I'm sure it can be useful for some people if they want it, but I'm not sure if I'm ever going to use it, so... Doubt I'm going to use that, even though she very well could. I don't need that on there. If it's just a passive thing, I don't need it on the short list right here. And then let's go with the spells that are in... Oh yeah, I have to go ahead and prepare her spells here, so... I'm going to have to take care of that. I don't think I'm using Daze or Touch of Fatigue. Would be pretty sweet if Ragnar could use Jolt, but apparently he can't, so that's kind of a bummer. That would be a perfect spell for him to get the bonus electricity damage, but we'll have to make do with other stuff. Let's see, she's not going to be charging anyone anytime soon, or to coup de grace, and she's not going to do any of that, so let's get that out of there. I guess of these options, Acid Splash is maybe the most likely cantrip for me to spam. And I can use Telekinetic Fist to do a bit of damage. I think it's like a transmutation ability from her subclass. Large person, very good, very good. Alright, now I need to go ahead and prepare her spells here, because that's the thing that wizards do. Definitely want one web. Okay, there we go. See, I guess web kind of works out because it's a subclass or a domain spell for her, and she needs at least one, or at least one of these slots has to come from a domain spell, so web works out perfectly. I didn't even think of that before, but works out pretty well. I guess Scorching Ray can be kind of useful too to use for a ranged attack. Yeah, so ranged touch attack, so that has a pretty reasonable chance of hitting actually. So hitting touch AC tends to be much easier against a lot of enemies. Okay, so we probably want one mage armor, so that way she doesn't have to like wear armor all that much. And then probably 2 bits of grease here. 1 round per level for Vanish probably isn't good enough for us right now. I don't think that's really worth considering, so I think the grease is a good option. Magic missiles guaranteed to hit, so that could be useful. I mean, Vanish has a good effect, but 1 round per level for stealth, we would need to be to like level caster level 7 or 8 maybe before this becomes viable for the duration. Just doesn't have a long enough duration like invisibility or something like that, I would think have. So alrighty, now that we've done with that, let's just save our game again because I just did extra stuff there. And now we're going to go ahead and head to the map here and see what we have in store for us. Well, then again, we've also taken up a good bit of time here, so it might actually be, oddly enough, even though we've only completed one area here, it might actually be a good time to just go ahead and call it an episode, because surprisingly, that area took a bit of time, and we did some leveling up.
I'm hungry. When we stop.
We did some leveling up that we weren't too sure about, so as a result, it ended up taking a bit of time during this episode, but I hope that everyone can kind of bear with me in the slower pace of playing the game here. But we did do a couple things, and we were able to go ahead and explore the map here a little bit more. Explored along the river. We can visit Old Oak sometime later. We dealt with the Technic League encampment, and we encountered 2 new party members, and we freed some slaves. And I'm hoping that in the future we will free many more people from the binds that hold them, and do goody two-shoes type things like that. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to help people along the way, and hopefully in the future, you know, we can deal with the slavers and the Technic League, and you know, it may not have been the wisest decision to go ahead and let the slaver Kalana go, but I think that we know in our hearts that they surrendered, they gave themselves up, So it was, maybe from our point of view, the right thing to do, considering that they surrendered. So I don't feel bad about it at all. You could have gone either way on the decision point there, but I don't feel bad about what I did. So, and neither does Alyrra. Anyway, I thank all of you for joining me today, and for hopefully having fun along the way with playing Pathfinder Kingmaker here. And it was certainly an interesting episode, even though we only visited one area really, but it was a very eventful area with some interesting dialogue and some interesting choices. So I hope that everyone had fun all the same this episode, and I hope that everyone joins me next time in my journeys playing Pathfinder Kingmaker with my Paladin Alyrra. Hope you all have a wonderful day to cap off your weekends, and as always, take care.